Guys, welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about this beautiful little console right here, the Game Boy Color. I kind of put them both under the same umbrella. So the other night I was going through some boxes that I shipped to myself from when I was leaving Japan back at the beginning of 2022. I collected a lot of games during the 2 years that I was living in Japan, and I specifically was going after a lot of Game Boy and Game Boy Color stuff. I bought this yellow Game Boy Color while I was living there. It was one of the first things I bought when I moved to Japan. It has this cute little Hamtaro sticker that I left on. It was on there when I bought it. Yeah, I was going through boxes and it was kind of like opening up a time capsule because I hadn't looked at any of this stuff since I packed it all away at the beginning of 2022, because then after that I shipped all this stuff home to my parents, and then I moved to Australia for almost 2 years with my now wife. She's from Australia originally, but anyway, back to what we're all here for, Game Boy stuff. Yes, I opened up this box and I was like, you know, I should do a little collection video and show all of the Game Boy games that I bought while I was living in Japan. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Alright, so first off here, I've got this bag of loose cartridges. I'm gonna get to this first, and then I'll go through the boxed stuff that I have off screen, because that's honestly more exciting. So let's get through this loose stuff first. I'm just gonna dump this out over here. Alright, so starting off, we actually have not a game, but a device that was in here. This is an e-reader with a wireless adapter attached for trading Pokemon. This is just a random thing I found in a junk bin. I thought it would be cool to have because e-reader stuff is super uncommon, and as you can see, I only paid 300 yen for both of these devices. That's pretty cheap. I don't even know how much an e-reader goes for nowadays, but I was like, that's basically that's like a few dollars, like total, because of the exchange rate right now. So I was super excited to find this, and that's just a little random thing, but let's get on to the games. Alright, first we have a few here that are in cases, and now actually these, I played all of these in, well, not this one, I played all of these in my second month of Game Boy video I did, so let's take a look at these. We've got this crocodile pinball game here. This was a cool one. It was made by HAL Labs, which I remember talking about in that video, which is the studio that makes Kirby games, which is pretty cool. Just a simple little pinball game, but it's a cool little piece of Nintendo history there. Then I've also got Mr. Driller for the Game Boy Color. This is a really fun puzzle game. I enjoyed this one a lot. And yeah, like I said, I know Game Boy and Game Boy Color are technically two different systems, but they're close enough where I just kind of group it all together. Parodius here. This is a really fun shoot 'em up. I love the Parodius series. That's a really fun one. Great little cover art there, or label art, I guess. And then finally here, I think I wanted to get to this one in my second month of Game Boy video, but I didn't. Just one of the Goemon games. These are really cool, kind of like beat 'em up set in feudal Japan. Pretty cool. I haven't played this one yet, but I'm going to get to it eventually. And a common theme with this video is there's going to be a lot of games that I want to get to once I eventually do another month of Game Boy video. So that's kind of, you're going to see some later on that are in the box that I'm kind of holding off on playing. We have a little Hamtaro game here to match my sticker on my Game Boy, so it's very fitting to have that game in the console. I've heard a lot of good things about the Hamtaro games on the Game Boy. They look really cute. They kind of look like really cute Zelda-style games, so I'm excited to play this one eventually. I think I might have another Hamtaro game, but let's see. I've got, what was this called in Japanese? Genjin. This was a series developed by Hudson Soft originally on the TurboGrafx, but then they ended up making a lot of sequels on Nintendo hardware. This was the first one on Game Boy. These are just fun little platformers. As you can see, I only paid like basically $2 for it. Haven't gotten to this one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I really like what I've played of that series so far. I'm gonna save the Pokemon stuff for last. Let's see. I just picked up some random games from a junk bin that I thought looked cute. This was one of them. I really have no idea what this is, but I just saw the label and it was literally like $1, so I picked this one up. That's gonna be a few of these here. This is a card game that I believe is developed by Alpha Dream, if I'm not mistaken, so that's why I picked this one up, and they are the people who make the Mario and Luigi RPGs. This one was literally less than $1, so I was like, yeah, why not? Might as well grab it. Put these all over here that I've gone through already so I don't accidentally pick them up again. We've got Donkey Kong Land 2. I own this one in English as well, but it was just the case where I was just going through a junk bin and it was literally like less than $1, so I was like, you know, why not have a fun little Japanese copy of this game just for the heck of it. So that's there. Here we have a Hunter x Hunter game for the Game Boy Color. I'm a big fan of Hunter x Hunter. This game isn't really that good, but I just thought it would be a cool little piece of Hunter x Hunter history to have. I kind of do the same thing for all the One Piece games. Anytime I see a One Piece game, I always pick it up, even if it's like not the best. I just do that for like anime series that I really like, but this is one of those purchases, and it was only, let's see, like just under, it's like $4 to $5, probably more like $3 nowadays with the exchange rate. But let's see here, I had a random really cool looking PS2 memory card in here. Japan had a lot of cool colorful PlayStation memory cards, and I just liked the way this one looks, so I bought it and threw it with my Game Boy games. Sorry for getting off topic there. This game, I actually have no idea what this is. It was another junk bin purchase where it was like 50 cents, and I was just like, that art looks cool. I will try this eventually. We have a PS1 memory card. Get that out of here. This was just like a bag of like loose stuff that I threw into a box that I shipped home, so that's why there's random stuff in here. We have this cute little game called Flappy Special. I haven't played this one yet, but this was another one where I was like, that art just looks cute and it's very cheap, so why not? So I went ahead and grabbed that one. And then this one, I was a bit disappointed by. I thought this was, there's this 2D platformer that has this character in it. It's in English, it's called like Hammer and Harry or something like that. They gave it a very westernized name. I thought this was that game, and that game's gotten kind of expensive, and I saw this for like $1, and I was like, oh, that's a good one, I better get it. And then I booted it up on my Game Boy here, and it's like a weird quiz game where you're just like answering questions that just has this character in it, so I was pretty disappointed by that. And finally here, oh wait, sorry, there's one more random one. This was just something, this is like a sports game, I think. I just thought the main character looked cool. He kind of looks like a Dragon Ball character, so other than that, it's just a random sports game. Here we have, here we have all of the loose Pokemon games that I picked up. I think I talked about these in my second month of Game Boy video that I did in Japan, but I just was looking in a junk bin at a Book Off, which is a kind of secondhand store in Japan. And I got pretty much all of the Pokemon games for just like basically $1 each. We got Red and Blue here. And so I think these two, the save batteries, do still work, which is pretty crazy considering these games are almost 30 years old now. So these two did work, but I think all the rest, if I'm not mistaken, don't save, but that's totally fine. I know how to replace them. But so we got Red and Blue here. We've got, of course, Yellow. I loved Yellow version as a kid. I played this game all the time. And then, of course, we have here Gold and Silver. And I love how, I mean, obviously, I think the American or the Western cartridges for all these games are cooler because they did the colored cartridges. But I find it very interesting how Gold and Silver, so you have, like, normally Game Boy games are this light gray color, right? But then for Silver, they made it just a dark gray with a, like, navy back, and then Gold, they gave it this navy in the front and then gray in the back, which it's just cool that they did it differently like that. I still think the Western versions that are like full Gold and Silver cartridges look a lot cooler, but I found this to be quite interesting. So yeah, those are all my loose Japanese Game Boy games. And again, I do have a big collection of Western Game Boy games, or I should say American Game Boy games. And I'll show those another time, but today I just want to focus on the Japanese stuff because I just, it's like taking a trip down memory lane, and I think that's cool. All right, so moving on to the box stuff here. Now, you'll have to excuse me, some of these are still in the, like, wrap that the store puts them in. They hang them up on shelves, on racks, kind of, and it's pretty cool how they do that, how they display them. But here we have Yoshi's Cookie, and I'm planning on opening some of these up when I eventually do like another month of Game Boy. But right now I'm just keeping them in their wrap just so they stay nice and pristine. And obviously, like, this isn't brand new. The store that I was shopping at puts these on. As you can see here, I paid less than $5 for this one, which is really cool. I love this game a lot. I played it in my first month of Game Boy video, and it's just a really fun, simple, cute puzzler, and it's a lot of fun. You should check it out if you haven't. And then next here, this one's actually kind of a rare one. This is Mega Man World 5, or in Japan they call it Rockman, and I love this art so much. But this game I spent about $20 on, and I was really surprised because these games are really expensive in America, just cartridge only, but even in Japan these games are going up in price. And there was this local store that I always went to called Ojama, and they had this game for 20 bucks in the box, and I just thought that was amazing. I like the Mega Man games a lot. I'm really bad at them. I've never actually beaten one, but I like to attempt to play them every now and then. And I love this cartridge art here as well. We got this little robot cat and Mega Man shooting his fist. Very cool. There's also colorized ROM hacks of almost all of these Game Boy games now, because obviously original Game Boy games were all in black and white. But fans have been making colored versions of these that you can play online, and I think that's really cool. Alright, next up here, I remember now, this was one of the first games I bought when I moved to Japan alongside this Game Boy here. And this is Wario Land 3, if you couldn't read the English right there. Very cool box here, lots of cool art. I remember my channel was a lot smaller when I moved to Japan, but I was trying to make little collection update videos, and I remember talking about this one and showing the manual and stuff. But I haven't played this game yet. I'm a huge fan of the first Wario Land game, but I'm saving this one and its prequel here, Wario Land 2. I guess I should have gone to Wario Land 2 first. I'm saving these two for when I do another month of Game Boy, because I love Wario Land, and I know it's like, how can you say that if you haven't played these two? But I'm saving it because I want to talk about them in that video eventually. I don't know when I'm going to do another month of Game Boy, but I keep telling myself I'm going to do it. I want to do it. It's just a lot of effort, honestly. But that's totally fine, because, like, honestly, those are some of my favorite videos to make. They just take a lot of time, but I'm going to get to these when I eventually do another month of Game Boy. But I just thought I'd show them here as well. Alright, here's another fun one. I remember playing the Super Nintendo version of this game all the time on an emulator when I first discovered emulation. This is Panel de Pon. It's a Nintendo puzzle game. This one happens to have a Yoshi theme and a lot of really cool artwork here. This is not the price I paid. This is actually the price that it would have been when it was new. I don't remember what I paid for this one, but I actually want to open this one up here and see if there's a manual inside. I think I bought this pretty close to when I was leaving. Let's see here. Alright, the game is in there, thank goodness. Some nice little art on the cartridge. I love the little baby Yoshi there. Let's take a look at what's inside here. Got a nice little Game Boy ad, Game Boy Pocket. That's such a cool looking Game Boy Pocket. Oh, look at this. Is this like a poster? No, it's just a big ad all about the Game Boy Pocket. Because this was an original Game Boy game, so I think this... Well, the Pocket may have been out at the same time as the... No, the Pocket definitely came out before the Game Boy Color. What am I talking about? Such a cool console. I love the Game Boy Pocket so much. I remember the store that I used to shop at all the time, Ojama. It's a video game store, not like a grocery store, obviously, but they had a couple, like, complete-in-box Game Boy Pockets for, like, $50, and I really regret not buying one because they're probably more expensive now. I love this art so much. That is so cool. Let's see. Oh, it's not a full-color manual. That's kind of, little baby Yoshi. That's kind of interesting. Usually Nintendo always did full-color manuals, but maybe this was more of a budget game. I mean, at least we still have this art. Like, that's amazing. Alright, here we have another really good puzzle game. This is actually, it's funny, this is also a Panel de Pon game. Just another, like, game where you're, you know, matching colored blocks, just like the previous one. This one's really cool. I know it's still in the plastic wrap here from the store, but I have played it before. I don't know if this one came out in the West or not. I actually don't think it did. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but I played this one a lot on an emulator as well. But now I finally have this copy. This is probably another one that I'll open up if I do another month of Game Boy, but just wanted to show it here because it has a really, I love this art so much. That is so cute. And I'm sure it has a nice manual in there, but I'll open it up another time just because I've got a lot more to get through here and I don't want this video to be too long. Anyway, here we have Kirby Pinball. I played this, I think I did talk about this in my last month of Game Boy, but it's funny, I didn't have a cartridge for it yet. I think I was just, you know what, maybe I'm thinking of a different video where I talked about this, but this is a very underrated Kirby spinoff. I mean, it's very simple, but it's a lot of fun. I have you know what it is? I have an English version as well, so that's how I played it, because I was like, I swear I played this before. Like, I don't know why it's sealed, but yeah. This is a really fun game. It's very simple, it's very short, but it's a good little time waster game if you just want to play like a fun little retro pinball game, but with a little Kirby twist, so that's a cute one. Alright, next up here, let's see, let's stick with the Kirby stuff. We've got another Kirby spin-off. This is a Kirby puzzle game. This one's a lot of fun. Let's open it up here. I played this one a surprising amount when I was in Japan. I remember just being in my little tiny apartment and having my Game Boy and playing this game a lot, and it was really fun. Cute little cartridge there. But yeah, this is a fun one, and again, I don't think this one was released outside of Japan. I could be wrong, but this was also a very late release on the Game Boy. I think it came out in like 1997 or something, like right before the Game Boy Color came out, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, this is a fun one if you know, even just to download, play on an emulator or something if you're into retro stuff like that. And sticking with Kirby here, wait a second. Hold up. These are this is Kirby Block Ball. This is Kirby Pinball. Because I was like, I swear, this isn't, I was like, this looks different than I remember. This is Kirby Pinball. This I played a lot. This is Kirby Block Ball. It's like Breakout, which is a different game altogether, but kind of similar. I forgot these were two separate things. That was a very strange lapse in my memory. But yeah, these are both really cool. Anyway, let's open this one up since it's unsealed. Yeah, this is Kirby Pinball. I played a lot of this one. Block Ball is cool as well. But yeah, we got the cartridge here. Let's take a look. Beautiful. The Game Boy had so many Kirby games, and they all make me very happy. But yeah, this is a good one. No manual, unfortunately, but like, you know, how often do you get a Game Boy game in the box these days, you know? Anyway, moving on here, we have Kirby's Dream Land 2. I absolutely love this game. I played this from beginning to end on original hardware when I got it in Japan. This was another really early pickup from when I first moved to Japan. Oh man, this is such a good game. Such a solid little Game Boy era platformer. And the funny thing is, this is the manual for the first Kirby game, and it was in this box. I have an American copy of this game. I didn't pick this one up when I was in Japan, but I just was like, I opened the box up when I got home, and this is Kirby's Dream Land 1. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting, but I wonder if the store did that or the previous owner. And then here's the manual for this game. Nice and colorful there. But yeah, this game's a lot of fun. I feel like a lot of people, especially a lot of fans of like the modern Kirby games, probably haven't played these old Game Boy games, but like this is where the series started, and I think they still hold up really, really well. So definitely check those out if you like Kirby, because it's a lot of fun. All right, one last Kirby game here. This is, in America, and well, I guess the rest of the world, we call this Kirby Tilt and Tumble, but in Japanese it was Koro Koro Kirby. It's a motion-controlled Kirby game on the Game Boy Color. You can see here, it's kind of like a top-down Zelda-style game. I haven't played this one yet. This was another one I was kind of trying to save for another month of Game Boy video. I think this would be a fun one to play through. If I remember correctly, there was no manual in this, unfortunately, but you gotta love this pink cartridge. This is so cute. And it's got a little bit of a fatter, whatever you call it here, because there's like a motion sensor in there. So you tilt it would be in the Game Boy like this, obviously. Oh, 1 second. And then to control Kirby, you're literally like tilting the whole system around, which is kind of annoying because this screen is so hard to see. So it's like you're tilting it around, you honestly can't see what you're doing. This would be a really good game to play in my backlit Game Boy Color, which thankfully I do have one of those now. And the Analog Pocket, that would actually be a great game to play on the Analog Pocket as well, because that thing has a really nice screen on it. So, you know, if I do, I don't want to say if I do another month of Game Boy, I definitely want to. I definitely will at one point. I think I might do it on the Analog Pocket, because that would be really great to, you know, play a game like this with a really good screen for once. But next up here, oh, here's a fun one. I was talking earlier about how I collect One Piece games. One Piece is probably my favorite manga of all time. This is a cool little game where it's like a turn-based RPG and also kind of like a visual novel. It's really interesting. It's very text-heavy. There is a fan translation available online for this one now. But I just love collecting One Piece games, especially One Piece games from like when the series was just starting out. It's just so cool to look back at this stuff. At the time that this game came out, oh man, there was probably only probably not even 100 chapters in the manga yet. I think, you know, Chopper was probably the newest crew member there. We just have this beautiful manual. Let's see if I can see some screenshots. I love all this. Oh man, One Piece is so good. Guys, if you haven't seen One Piece, what are you doing? Because it's so good. Don't let people tell you it's too long, because I'll tell you what, One Piece is like a big, beautiful layered cake that just keeps getting better and better the further it goes. I don't know what else to say, but this game's cool. Again, it's just a very wordy, you know, kind of slow turn-based RPG, but just as a piece of One Piece history here, I am all for it. I think, is there something else in here? No, there's not. Anyway, let's move on to the next one here. We have got Donkey Kong Land 3, but this is the Japan exclusive Game Boy Color version. This was originally, you know, just like a demake on the original Game Boy of Donkey Kong Country 3. But in Japan, they got a Game Boy Color release that put the game in full color. I definitely showed this one in one of my collection videos that I made in Japan like 4 years ago. But this was really cool because it came with not only a manual and all this great stuff, it came with like Donkey Kong trading cards, but only Kiddy Kong, everyone's least favorite character. You know, I don't hate him that much. I think he's kind of funny looking, but like, yeah, we got this little DK card game. This is just the sleeve they came in. I'm so glad these were in here, but these are such a mystery to me. Like, did they make more of these, or did they only make Kiddy Kong ones? I don't know. If you know anything about this stuff, let me know down below, please. I want to get down to the bottom of this Donkey Kong trading card mystery here. Next up, oh, this is a big one. We have Pokemon Crystal in like the most pristine box I've ever seen. And the crazy thing about this one was I only paid $5 for this, which is absolutely insane. Even the Japanese price of this game in the last few years has like skyrocketed. So this is one that I'm really happy to have. I just played through Crystal again recently, and I love this game so much, so I'm really happy to have this very nice complete in box copy of it. Next up, we're getting to the end here. We have Mole Mania, I think is what it's called in English. This is just a fun little like puzzle Zelda style game developed by Nintendo. I haven't played it yet. This is another one I'm saving for another month of Game Boy video, but it looks really cool and I'm excited to give it a try eventually. And next up here, we have the original Wario Land. I played this one in my last month of Game Boy video, and I absolutely loved it. This is definitely one of my new favorite 2D platformers. It's just really fun. I don't know what else to say. It's a really great game. Great continuation of the Mario Land series, in my opinion. I don't know what a lot of people out there think, but I'm a big fan of the original Wario Land, and there's a really cool DX version that's available nowadays. It's like a fan-made color version of this game that you can play, and I've played through that one as well, and it's very good, so definitely look that up if you're interested. Alright, and here we have the original Game & Watch gallery. These games were really cool, just a collection of mini games from Nintendo's Game & Watch days, but with Mario characters. And I actually played these a lot when I was a kid, so when I saw like complete in-box copies in Japan, I picked up this one. I could never find the second one, but I have the third one here as well, which was a Game Boy Color game. Lots of amazing art on here. But yeah, I still have it sealed. I'll probably get to this one in the future, but as you can see, I just paid like around $7 or $8 for it. But yeah, that is my Japanese Game Boy collection. Well, anyways, guys, that was my Japanese Game Boy collection. It's big, but not like crazy big. It's all games that I really care about. They all mean something to me, even though there's a couple in there that I haven't gotten around to. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think of my little collection down in the comments. It was a lot of fun hunting all those games down when I lived in Japan. And honestly, it's just so cool looking back at them and seeing all the treasures that I found while I was living there. But yeah, definitely let me know if you want to see more collection-style videos like this for other consoles. I collected a lot of other things while I was living in Japan, other games, not just Game Boy stuff, and even like toys and figures as well. So let me know what else you'd like to see from me down in the comments. Let me know what your collection is looking like, whether it's Game Boy stuff, GameCube, whatever you collect. Let me know down below. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.